Welcome to SportsBeat KC, the Kansas City Star's daily sports podcast. It's Monday, June 28th, and I'm Blair Kerkhoff. On today's show, you'll hear from U.S. women's national team coach Vlatko Andonovski. The national team is preparing for the Olympic Games next month in Tokyo, and the U.S. women, the world's dominant team, has some extra incentive. They finished off the podium in Rio in 2016. That after winning the World Cup a year earlier. They'd go on to win the next World Cup in 2019. That was the last competition for Coach Jill Ellis. Now the team is coached by Andonovski, who calls Kansas City home. He coached the first women's professional team here and won 2 NWSL championships. In 2019, he was named coach of the national team, and so far so good. The team's played 21 games, won 20 of them, and tied 1. But the big competition awaits next month. Star columnist Vahe Gregorian and I spoke with Andonovski earlier this month. The team was in Houston for a series of friendlies, and the final roster had not been set yet. Since our recording, it has been, and we'll end the show by introducing the team. Well, I won't make the introductions. Coach Ted Lasso of AFC Richmond will. He and his assistant, Coach Beard, had the honors on social media last week. I think you'll enjoy that. So let's get started talking U.S. women's national team, the pressure of the job, and other topics with Vlatko Andonovski. What are the objectives between now and the beginning of the Olympics for shaping the team?
So there are a few things. First, in this camp, the roster is not announced yet. So we are definitely going to take a little bit of approach of evaluating the players or evaluating some of the players before we make the final decision. But at the same time, we're going to try to play in the team that we believe, or the players that we believe will get to play in the Olympics or play significant minutes in the Olympics, and allow them to play together and synchronize the lines, the subgroups, and allow them to work together.
Vlatko, as Blair and I were talking about this, and I realize it's sort of a bigger picture question, but what do you feel like you've learned over the last year, just in terms about dealing with the pandemic, but even how you've seen more about your team and yourself during this time? So first, I'll start with the pandemic. It wasn't easy. It was really hard, obviously, for obvious reason. But from the sports standpoint, from the soccer standpoint, it was hard because we couldn't see the players. We couldn't train. We couldn't spend time together. But in the same time, there were benefits from it in the fact that we didn't have opponents. We didn't have games against opponents. It allowed us to focus solely on ourselves and our development. And our development, not just as a team, but also development of the youth national team, and synchronizing everything, and creating a structure, creating a system that will be sustainable, not just for until the next Olympics or until the next World Cup, but it will be sustainable for years to come. And I'm sure a lot of players, coaches are not gonna be here, but I feel like we have the basis for a system that will be here for a lot of generations. Now, when it comes down to the team and what I've learned about the team and in myself is that it's a very interesting environment that regardless of what the circumstances are, they want to get better. They don't want to stay in the right lane. Like they want to be in the lane that in the speed lane, and they want to keep on progressing. I mean, there were times where we felt like it's time to take it a step slower or take it a little bit easier, but for them it's like we're wasting time. We got to get better. So it's a constant demand or constant. It's an interesting appetite to get better, to improve, to evolve, to develop, and it's an interesting dynamics because
it teaches you, or at first you feel like you're forced to meet those demands, but then it teaches you to, or teaches me individually, personally, to get better, to constantly get better, so I can serve the players the best way possible.
Vlatko, the U.S. was really, we were hurt pretty badly by the pandemic, but came out of it before other nations. So I'm wondering if the U.S. has had an advantage of, having a team together, maybe an advantage over other nations in this regard. Not that you necessarily keep up with what teams around the world are doing, but you got to get back on schedule, and as other countries were struggling with vaccines and whatnot.
Right. So, like you said, I'm not sure what other countries have done with their sports teams, with their soccer teams, especially the women's soccer team. But I'm pretty confident in what we do, and especially from the organizational standpoint, from the logistical support, that we're ahead of everyone. I mean, it's how this organization functions, and this is how, especially from the administrative standpoint, this is how we function. Is what can we do to be step ahead constantly, or to be better than everyone else, whether it's having an extra camp, or having an extra day, or having better environment for the players, or having open games, people at the stadiums. Like, there's so many things that we have done. It's not the one thing that will set us apart from everybody, but there are 50 things that were a little bit ahead of everyone that will set us apart from everybody else.
Vlatko, I'm remembering that I think it was right after you took the job, we were talking about might be a little pressure with this job, but also you saying who wouldn't want to coach the best team in the world. I wonder, with the Olympics coming closer now, how you've navigated that whole thing with just feeling the joy of the job versus maybe some of the pressure of the job.
Yeah, so the pressure hasn't changed. I mean, you start coaching this team game one, you're expected to win, even though nobody talks about it. We're at game 20 or close to that since I started, and it hasn't changed. Nobody talks about it, but everybody expects you to win. Everybody expects you to win in a good fashion. Everybody expects you to play well. Everybody expects you to do something different and win convincingly. So the pressure hasn't changed. What has changed is the way we go, or I go about the pressure. So initially I was nervous, or maybe even stressed about it, and now I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that, to those opportunities, or to those challenges. So when I talk about pressure, I feel privileged to be pressured in a situation like this. I mean, I have a chance to coach the best team in the world and take them to the Olympics. So I'm, like I said, I'm privileged with the opportunity and with the pressure.
Blair, if you don't mind, I'll just jump in with one more thing. Vlatko, how did you go from feeling stressed to feeling the enjoyment of the challenge? I mean, were there a few weeks or months where it was a process even for you as a coach?
There was no thing that I did. I said, okay, from now I'm not going to be stressed. I'm going to be excited. It's almost like falling in when you're falling in love. Like, you don't know. There's no moment when you say, okay, from now on I'm going to be in love with someone. It's a process. It's one thing after another. You get in this environment. You feel the environment. You spend time with the players, and you realize that everybody is excited about these challenges. They're looking forward to these challenges. They love it. I mean, that's the environment that's been created, and I can't tell like a moment or a thing that I did. It's just a process that now, looking back, I don't know when it happened, but I know that I'm excited about it.
Hey, Vlatko, I'm wondering about your relationship with the Olympics. when you were, I think you're of the age where when you were a boy, the Winter Olympics, I think, were in your country, in Sarajevo, maybe, and in '84.
'84.
And I'm just wondering if you grew up as looking forward to Olympic Games, or did you just enjoy the pageantry?
Yeah, so whether there were Summer or Winter Olympics was Olympics for us. Even though the Summer Olympics were a little bit bigger, it's for some reason, I don't know, like we were more looking forward to it as just growing up. But yes, they're an event. I mean, world event. Everybody is looking forward to it, to watch the Olympics, to support their countries or represent their countries for that matter. So the feeling hasn't changed. I have a chance to represent the country. I have a chance to represent USA, and I'm looking forward to it.
You remember the first time you watched the Olympics, Vlatko? What effect it had on you? The first time it struck you, anyway.
I can't remember what was the first one. I mean, I think the very first Olympics, the Summer Olympics that I remember were actually Los Angeles, the Olympics in LA, and the first Winter Olympics were Sarajevo '84.
And one other thing, by the way, I just thought of this again related to the pandemic. I don't think we really got to ask you this, but without getting too much into the weeds, as they say, I do wonder those first few months when things were shut down. I know you had been in such a habit of so much travel and everything. I just wonder if you could describe a little bit of personally how you tried to, what you had to do to just make things work during that time, and whether that was a big challenge in those months.
Yeah, so the very beginning of it was tough. And the first couple of weeks, because of the unknowns of everything, like what is happening around the world, like nobody could, I mean, obviously nobody could predict something like that. And we were trying to figure out, like, are we going back to work? Are we getting together? Are we going to have camp? The moment we realized that, okay, this is going to be, at least for a short period of time, this is our way of life. Now, the approach or the way we're going to do this is by being creative. We're going to make it work, okay? But we're going to have to get creative. So for me personally, the first thing I did is I went into a regimen that I felt like, okay, this is how my life is going to be, and this is how I'm going to function. Okay, I wake up, I'm going to do my workout, I'm going to get a cup of coffee and go for a walk with my wife, and that's how every day is going to start. Regardless of what I have, my day is going to start at 9 a.m. and before 9 a.m. These are the two things that I will do every day. 9 a.m. I go to work, and that's when we started our staff meetings. In the first couple of weeks was all planning. Like, what are we going to do if we have 1 month? What are we going to do if we have 2 months? What are we going to do if we have 3 months? So we went into deep planning of things that we would want to achieve short term, mid-term, and long term. And we had all these goals, and it happened that we went long term. We achieved all our long term goals, but nobody expected that early on. And that's how we started working, and we did a lot of things. We achieved a lot of things. We had lots of projects that we fulfilled. There's some projects that they're still going on, but we're very happy with where we ended up.
Well, what was it like the first time you saw the team in person again, and when was that?
It was weird a little bit, but in the same time, not that much, because it was October of 2020. We were in Denver, Colorado. And part of the reason why it wasn't as weird as I thought it was going to be, because we had so many Zoom calls and so many team meetings, group meetings, individual meetings, that it wasn't as bad as I thought it is going to be. And I had a chance to see him during the summer in the Challenge Cup in Utah, where that was, I didn't see him as a team. I saw some of the players individually, but it was kind of weird because
I could talk to them, but I had to be at a distance, and I was on one side of the fence, they were on the other side of the fence, and we have a conversation. But like I said, it was weird, but not as bad, just because of the fact that video calls helped us a lot.
Was it kind of emotional just to see them again, though, when you finally did?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we spend so much time together, and all of a sudden, like, everything stops. But we're getting back to normal again. Like I said, slowly but surely, we start spending more time together, and I have a chance to see him in the league games now. I have a chance to see him now. We're for 2 weeks in Texas. We have week off, and then we go back together for the send-off series, and then off to Japan.
What was the message to them during those Zoom calls? Were you trying to keep their spirits up?
Yeah, so we had different types of calls, different types of meetings. We had meetings where they were educational for us, like what are the areas that we want to grow in as a team from the tactical perspective. So how are we going to evolve our game model? What is our game idea? Let do the work on the details. But then we had meetings where we had group meetings when we worked on certain things individually, and then individual meetings. But then we had meetings where we worked on our culture, on our team chemistry. But then we had meetings where we worked or where we talk about motivations and inspirational meetings. And then we had meetings or things that we did that were just to keep us busy and get our mind off of everything else that was going around us at the time. So we were trying to change it and not keep it with one thing, just so we can throw them off a little bit, or sometimes we'll let it go for a little period of time where they relax, and then we'll go for 2-3 meetings in a row. So we're constantly moving different things so they don't fall into one regimen, like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every Tuesday, Thursday. It was all the time. I was like, oh, now I got this. Oh, now I got to do this. So just doing different things to keep them busy.
Vlatko, there's been a lot of kind of noise about or in Japan about whether the Olympics should go forward right now or things of that nature. How have you processed that? I mean, I guess you can't ignore it. On the other hand, I think you have to ignore it in terms of preparing to go there.
Yes, I've been blessed to be surrounded with a great group of people that give us logistical support, and they give us support in any way that we need. And our GM, Kate Margraf, the team administrator, Ryan Dell, they've been on top of everything. And the communication officer, Aaron Heifetz, they've been monitoring everything, on top of everything. And they just give me enough to be in the loop, but not to be bothered with anything, because for us, we're in 100%. Like that's the approach. Like nothing else bothers us, and until they tell us it's off, we're 100% ready.
Vlatko, when do you have to get down to 18?
Few days after the last game, after this camp. So on the 16th, we finish the last game. On the 17th, everybody leaves, and the coaches stay and the camp review and work on the roster. So I would say about 2 or 3 days, 3 or 4 days after that, I have to announce it to our to the federation, and the federation will announce it publicly.
Okay, and so the team that goes to play the friendlies against Mexico and Hartford will be the Olympic team.
That'll be the team.
Okay.
Vlatko, have you spent any time just sort of visualizing the actual feeling of being at the Olympics? And I don't even know what they're going to do for opening ceremonies this year and how that will work. But have you spent time with that?
I've tried to think a little bit about how everything's going to look and what that experience is going to be like, but I still can't get all the way there, just because I feel like that the most important thing for us right now is, besides preparing the team, is selecting the team. So we spend a lot of time as a group
talking about the players or the selection of the players, and myself, I spent a lot of time thinking about all of those players, just making sure that we're going to make the right decision.
SR, you were at the sporting game recently here, huh?
Yes, I was at the game. Actually, I was at the game before that, and I was at the last one as well. So anytime I have a chance, I go to sporting game. I'm in Kansas City, and I love everything about Kansas City. So anything I can do to support Kansas City teams, I'll be there.
So, and of course, Hugh Williams, they play tomorrow. And have you gotten a chance to see them play yet?
Yes, I was at every game that they played so far, whether it was Challenge Cup or the regular season. So, and if I'm in town, I'm there. Okay. And part of it is because it's my job. I feel like I have to be there first for the team that is there for Kansas City team, but also for the team that comes to play Kansas City. There is always something that I probably need to see. That's one thing, but the other part is the emotional part. I mean, Kansas City will always have a special place in my heart. That's the team that we won 2 championships with. That was 2014 and 15, and even though that the majority of those players are gone, we still have a few originals that were there in those years.
Right.
So I'm going to be there for them.
Vlatko, it's interesting. You still live here. You have such an affection for Kansas City, but I think your profile has probably changed in terms of national and international recognition. Has it been something to get used to be recognized more that way in your role?
I mean, it has changed, but I feel like I constantly remind myself that the position is what gets the recognition. It's not me. I mean, I don't deserve that. I'm Vlatko. I still want to go to sporting game. I want to go to Kansas City game. I want to go to lunch with my friends, and I want to go for a kick around with the Comets boys, and I want to be out with my family. So I'm still doing it. It's not that any of that is going to change, because that's who I am. But the position is what gets the recognition. So who knows? A couple of years from now, maybe somebody else in that position, and that's the person that is going to get the recognition, and not me. So that's why it doesn't bother me at all. Don't even think about it. So I understand that whoever is in that position is going to get the recognition, but I'm going to go about my life the way I have always done.
We're certainly lucky you're still Vlatko. Otherwise, you might not be here talking with us.
Hey, Vlatko, I've got one last Olympic question. The women's national team has dominated all the competitions it's been in recently, except the previous Olympics. And so I'm just wondering if that serves as motivation or inspiration for this group for this task.
Anything that we can talk about, anything that we can look at as a motivation, we're going to take it, and that is certainly one thing that we're going to use as an extra motivation, as an extra boost, as well as the like I said earlier, the appetite to get better in every aspect, and the appetite of winning without even thinking about it. So. Yes, we're gonna try to win every game and be the best version of ourselves every time we step on the field.
What did you think of your draw in the group stage?
Olympics are hard because less teams, regardless of who you draw, it's gonna be hard. But the fact that we drew Sweden, who's been historically a tough opponent for us. And then we drew 2 very good teams in New Zealand and Australia that have coaches that have previously coached the US women's national team in recent era and have inside knowledge on the team. Is not something that we're super excited about, but we go with the mindset that if not in the group stage, we were going to have to we were gonna have to face them in the knockout stage. So with 12 teams, you're gonna play the best at some point. So might as well start them early.
Vlatko, I'm thinking a little bit about what it must be like to in international competition, particularly to represent a country and to have your background and represent the USA. Is that emotional for you?
It is. I mean, every time I step on the field, whether it's a game or even training or meeting, it is emotional. It's super fulfilling, and it just sometimes you think about it, gives you goosebumps to be surrounded with the players that you're surrounded with, or people that you're surrounded with. I mean, these players are superstars. They're just unbelievable, unbelievable people, so unbelievable successful people that they've succeeded in everything that they've done in their lives. So just the fact that I have a chance to work with them is very humbling for me and very fulfilling. So I'm enjoying every second of it.
Is it in any way different to have a match that, say is in a professional league than it is to have one with countries' names across the jerseys?
Oh, it's not even comparison. It's not even comparison. I mean, when you're standing on the sideline and the national anthem is going, and right after that the players are lining up for a picture. I mean, those are moments that you can't just describe with words. It's just it's a feeling that there are no words that can describe it. It's just a different feeling, and butterflies are going and things are going through your head. It's just enjoyable to be part of it.
Hey, it's Blair. We have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners, unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Star's award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns presented on the kansascity.com site, and it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. Your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star, and that support has never been more important. Please visit kansascity.com/SportsBeatKC offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening.
Well, hey, howdy, folks. My name's Ted Lasso, and this here's my good pal, Coach Beard. Say hi, Coach. Anyway, it's our honor and pleasure to officially introduce to y'all the 2020, now 2021, U.S. Olympic women's soccer team. What do you say, Coach?
It's an honor. Let's do it. Start us off with the goalkeepers, Coach.
We got our 2019 World Cup hero, Alyssa Nair, and then from the spectacular state of Kansas, smack dab in the middle of this son of a gun called America, is Adriana French.
Our defenders will be led by team captain Becky Sauerbrunn.
Got a couple veterans also, Crystal Dunn.
Kelly O'Hara.
Oh, who we saw in King and I.
Different Kelly O'Hara.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, that'd be too much talent for God to put into one woman. You know what I mean? Be able to do Broadway and play soccer. Ooh. Okay. Also, we got some first-time Olympians. We got Abby Dahl-Kemper.
Deanna Davidson.
And Emily Saucy Sonnet. Hey, what number does Emily Sonnet wear?
She's going to wear 14.
Now, can you spit us a couple lines from Sonnet 14, please?
Not from the stars do I my judgment fuck, and yet methinks I have astronomy.
The internet has got nothing on my man, Coach Beard.
In the midfield, we have the indomitable Julia Ertz, married to Zach Ertz, who says she's the best athlete in the family. Boom.
Ooh, that's a good burn, and I bet she's right. All right, we also got the magical Rose Lavelle.
You may remember from scoring the second goal in the World Cup final, and also she looks a lot like Daisy from Downton Net.
Again, also perfect name for a candle. Like, what are you gonna get? I'm gonna get the Rose Lavelle.
Romantic.
Like right up there with sandalwood.
Hey, thanks again for that sandalwood candle you got me last Arbor Day.
You're very welcome, all right? I'd love to get a Rose Lavelle one for next Valentine's Day. We also got the Tower of Power, Samantha Mewis.
And her older sister, Christy Mewis.
Look at that. That's like a whole situation there. Two sisters on the same thing, on the same bus. You know, they're reading each other's minds, and everybody's getting all frustrated with them whenever they play celebrity or, like, you know, charades. They're just like, you guys can't be on the same team, you know, because, you know, sisters can talk without, you know, moving their mouth.
Yeah, it disrupts the social vibe and yet enriches unity at the same time.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have. Sisters are the best.
And wrapping up the midfield, Lindsay the Great Horan.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I remember when she was just the good. Now, moving on to our forward line, we got 5 of the best attackers in all of women's soccer history. Okay? Up first, we have the one and only cultural icon, and someone you can just tell gives a hell of a high five, Megan Rapinoe.
Also won the Golden Boot and the Golden Ball at the last World Cup.
I don't know why they don't give 2 Golden Boots. Seems weird just to have one. And then you're walking around, you just sort of, you know, one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going to have a limp. It's going to screw up your Achilles for the next tournament. Oh, maybe it's to slow down greatness.
They're always thinking. Soccer's always a step ahead. They always are. But not too far ahead. Otherwise, that's offside.
Well done, Coach. Well done.
We also got the legendary Carly Lloyd.
Hat trick in the World Cup final before that.
And why don't they give you a golden hat when you get a hat trick? You know, you get a boot if you do something great. You get a golden boot, you should get a golden hat.
Coach, we finished this whole Richmond thing. You got to go work for FIFA.
Amen, right? Or amen. Also, we got hanging out up there, Kristen Press.
Manchester United.
And the wildly entertaining Tobin Heath.
Also Manchester United.
Mm-hmm. Who is that, by the way? I've never heard of them all. I'm just kidding. Only one of the biggest franchises in the history of sports of all time.
Well, we're leaving off one member of that forward squad.
No, I am not. You talking about super duper soccer mom extraordinaire, Alex Morgan? Right? Who recently added a new goal celebration to her repertoire. One that she picked up from us from a satellite camera that I was unaware of the fact was filming us at practice. And, yeah, I mean, flattered, but also a little spooked out.
Yeah, and I want to know what else she has in the hopper celebration-wise.
Well, that's a good point. Alex, if you're looking for suggestions, you know, that's always good, right? You know what I mean? Is this the mashed potato? What is this? Or just a shimmy?
That's the monkey, I believe. That's the monkey.
Just a shimmy. No one shimmies anymore. You know what I mean? Just a little shimmy.
All right, Coach, let's take it home with our alternates. Goalkeeper, Jane Campbell.
Mm-hmm. We got our defender, Casey Kruger. No relation to Fred.
Midfielder, Katerina Macario.
And forward, Lynn Williams. All right, there you have it. Those are the 18 women that will be representing our country, the United States, in the 2021, you know, Olympics, right, in Japan. You know what I mean? And, boy, you know, we haven't messed with an Olympics since this bad boy right here, since, you know, we did the time trials for the curling team, right?
That was the best week of our life.
That was amazing. We were broom stewards. You know, we're just rushing out the brooms, making sure there's nothing crusty or, like, you know, any newspaper or anything caught in there. And it took place in Blaine, Minnesota. So here's a fun fact for you. Blaine, Minnesota, first place the U.S. women's soccer team ever played back in 1986.
All comes full circle. Here's another fun fact for you. In this here Olympics, the U.S. is trying to become the first women's national soccer team to win the World Cup and the Olympics back-to-back. Never happened before.
We got to let their coach know. Give their coach shout out.
Shout out North Macedonia.
Is he from North Macedonia?
Yeah.
Oh, what street? Here's what I say. This is a big tip. This is what I learned. Every time they kick the ball, it's not coming at you. You know, you don't always have to duck. You know, these pro soccer players, they kick the heck out of that ball.
Oh my God!
And it always sounds like I'm like, well, you know, you don't have to do that. All right, here's one more tip for Vlatko. You should learn the local language while you're over there in Japan. And we actually got a few phrases that you can use, just, you know, at your disposal, right? Coach, why don't you hit him with one?
Doki doki watashi tachi wa picnic ni ikimasu.
And that means sometimes we go on picnics. All right? That's a great one. What's another one, Coach?
Hyaku hayaku donatsu o kudasai.
And that means, please bring me 1,000 donuts quickly. And then hit him with one more, Coach.
Nihongo o nashimasen.
I don't know what that one is. What does that mean?
I do not speak Japanese.
Yeah. I wouldn't know that because I do speak Japanese. Okay. Thanks again so much for having us. Again, my name is Coach Ted Lasso. This is Coach Beard. And, hey, you know, Coach, you know, I was just realizing, you know what would look real nice next to one of them golden hats from a hat trick that they've yet to come up with, or the golden boot that Megan's won.
What, Coach?
Gold medal.
That'll do it for today. Thanks to our SportsBeat KC production staff of Derek Donovan, Beth Welsh, Monty Davis, Jeff Rosen, Chris Pickett, and Savannah Smith. Hey, you can read Vahe's story on Vlatko Andonovski in the show notes here. And links to other stories can be found on kansascity.com. Hey, we got another deal for you. You can subscribe to Sports Pass for 99 cents a month. That's right, 99 pennies a month. Sports Pass is the online version of the Star Sports section. You get all the stories that appear in the print editions of the Star, plus additional stories that appear only on the website. After 3 months, it auto-renews at $5.99 a month, unless you cancel. How do you get it? You go to kansascity.com/sportspass2020. That's kansascity.com/sportspass2020. Do you want more than just sports coverage? Check out the entire Kansas City Star product. Sports news, features, commentary, and analysis, the whole thing. You get all the stories written by my talented colleagues, plus additional national news, sports, and business coverage with the e-edition. The details for all of these deals can be found at account.kansascity.com/subscribe. If you're having trouble hunting down any of the offers, just send me an email, bkerkhoff@kcstar.com, and I will get you to the right place. So, whether it's the Sports Pass or the full subscription, you're getting and supporting the best sports and news coverage in Kansas City and helping us produce programs like SportsBeat KC. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back on Tuesday talking Royals. Join us then.